Hello my friends and welcome back to another Game Builder Garage tutorial. Today we're going over the best way to make an HP heart bar. Oh, I don't know why I agreed to this, but yeah, you can take damage as you see that you lose your hearts nicely, but you can also recover a heart by eating an apple. Let's get rid of this guy, he's in our way. Whew, down to only 3 hearts, and yet the great thing with this method is you can also recover all the hearts that you lost. So without further ado, let's show you how to make this for your own game. First things first, you're going to set up your character. I have just a normal character with a fluff ball attached center, turn the person invisible, and you can play as a fluff ball. Also, my camera is just set up as 2 on the Y and Z is -4. The rest of the stuff is just for movement. The next thing we need to do is make a HUD. So we're going to go into Objects, Game Screen Camera, First Person, and grab a head node on. This is going to attach everything that we're going to see on the screen, pretty standard. Then we're going to get a box and connect it to the head node on with a Z- to Z+ point. Turn everything off except for movable. I made it this size. You'll have to mess around with it. If you want, you can change it to visible so you can see it on the screen. Next, we're going to connect another box to the original one. In the settings, do about the same thing, except the connection point will be Y- to Y+, and if you did it right, it should look like this. You can see I have the 2 boxes here. The first one I made it kind of wide, I'm not sure if it helps, but the second one is where we're going to be attaching our HUD. To make the heart container boxes, we're going to use just a simple box with about the same idea as the other ones. I'm changing the material to 0 gravity, and we're going to connect it X+ to X- to the box on our HUD. I made it this size, 0.4 by 0.4. It's considerably smaller, but that should be good. Let's go ahead and check it by making it visible. And there it is. That's going to be where your first heart container is located. If you don't like the size or position, you can adjust that now. Next, we need to make a texture to use for our heart container. So call up a texture object. Make sure it's the same size. Do your best to draw a beautiful heart, just like that. Go ahead and connect that up to your box, organize it how you want, and remember to turn this one visibility off. Now we should have our first heart and it's looking good. Next, we're going to call up a logic node on. We're going to be using the not node on. Plug the output of the not node on into the texture, so it's going to be not visible when. Next, we're going to head into the comparison and call up a greater than symbol, which we'll be using to determine if a heart is available, visible, or has it been destroyed. Finally, we're going to need a constant. So we'll just keep this constant at 1 for now and go ahead and plug that into input 2. After you have all this, you're ready to copy for however many hearts you want on your HUD. Woo, that's a lot of hearts. I have 14 here. Now we're going to need a way to send an input here to compare with the constant. You're going to want to change the constants on each of the hearts depending on how you want them destroyed. So start with your first heart having a constant of 0, then 1, 2, 3, all the way up to your final heart up here, which is the last one we want destroyed. That's the way it works in Zelda, but you can make it work however you want. Next, we're going to need a way to compare these with the counter to see if the heart's going to be destroyed or active. So for that, we're just going to use a wormhole exit. And since it's a counter, I'm going to use exit C. Go ahead and connect this up to all of the bottom ports here. I'm going to do 2 wormhole exits just to keep things nice and clean. And it should look something like this when you're finished. It may look complicated, but it's really just the same 5 nodons over and over. This is what it should look like on the screen when you're finished. So now we need to make things hurt. Well, first things first, we need a touch sensor. Go ahead and head into Sensors, Touch Sensor, and we're going to connect it up to the person. Make it just like this. Check for whatever you want to damage. I made the size about 1.4 for everything, and on touch timing, remember to make it invisible. Next, we're going to need a counter, so just go ahead and call up one from the flag counter random part, and I'm making it a little bit bigger. Attach the output to the count up port. Then we're going into program layout and grabbing a wormhole entrance. So the counter is going to tell how much damage we're taking and send it over to the heart containers. Every time the touch sensor is activated, we should lose 1 heart. With a little help from our alien friend, we can see how this works. 1 touch and the heart is gone just like that. If you want your character to be able to have healing items, it's really simple. Just go into input, state change, and on break. Then choose whatever you want to heal by 1, and you can put it into the countdown function. I chose apples to be the healing item, and I also added a sound effect. We can also plug whatever we want into the reset port, and that will restore all the hearts. So now I have it programmed when a turnip is broken that it'll reset all the hearts. If you'd like to restore more than 1 but less than all the hearts, all you have to do is put a map node on in the middle here and it should work perfectly. Last, we have the feint sequence. So when you reach 0 hearts, you want your person to feint. So I have the counter going into a comparison, and we have 13 here because we have 14 hearts. When it's greater than 13, we want them to feint. I suggest not using equal to, because sometimes you can take 2 damage at once and it can make it so the person doesn't ever feint. Of course, you can add the sound effects and stuff on top of that, but when it exceeds that, we want to go into a destroy object node on, connect it to the person, and don't forget with your person to make them destructible by the destroy object node on. That's a common mistake. That's about it for today's tutorial, my friends. If you like the content, then remember to leave a like. Also, check out the Discord. We have giveaways going on each month, and you can win some awesome prizes and also chat with the coolest people in the Game Builder Garage community. So until next time, happy building and God bless.